On today's episode, I reunite with some old Camino friends and stumble instantly into a few Camino mysteries, such as, why is a church shaped like a scallop shell? What do the bells of the basilica really look like up close? Where am I sleeping tonight?
Oops, wrong slide.
And most importantly, is Spain getting its birds drunk? That's right, fellow peregrinos. Grab your shell, tighten those laces, and let's do this. One Camino! One Camino.
Okay, folks, it's like 6:30, leaving Redondela, and yeah. Where am I going today? Pontevedra. And I have a sneaky suspicion I'm going to bump into some old friends of mine there.
Caminotellers.
But before then, let's get through today, shall we? All my favorite things. Festival, Cruciero, and Oreo.
An unseen truck in reverse somewhere.
It's like a postcard for Spain. Or the Camino at very least. Been going uphill since I started, so I'm a little wary to go back downhill here. Because whenever you go downhill, that means you're soon going to be going back uphill. Especially when leaving a town in the morning. It's a high probability. So, Redondela was, I didn't have enough time really walking around. As soon as I got in, I passed out. I fell asleep for like 45 minutes. Then I went to the supermarket. I didn't even start my laundry. I'm gonna have to do double load today. Yeah. But so far, hills, and I see more hills up ahead.
Subscribe. The morning air feels fresh and new today. Cool, clean, almost sweet. Every breath feels like it's doing some kind of quiet repair work. Moving out of town, everything becomes green. Not polite green, Galician green. Ferns staging a quiet takeover, moss creeping over stone walls like it has long-term plans, and Camino markers popping out here and there that feel like old friends by now. The trail out of Redondela serves up woodland, farmland, quiet country roads, and just enough pavement to keep you alert. It's never dull, and always shifting. I pass through Sotomayor, and finally secure first breakfast. Tortilla achieved. Sin tortilla no hay camino. And then it happened again. I spotted my second Camino cluster of the day. This was no longer a coincidence.
Oh, they definitely know what they're doing now. This is like planting a pilgrim trap. A Cruciero, no Oreo, right on top of each other.
Cruciero, Fountain, Oreo, all within a single camera frame. It's like the Camino decided to bundle the classics into one convenient Pilgrim starter pack. Okay, it's probably high time we discuss the Cruceros, or Cruceros, depending where you are, or what you're speaking, be it Spanish or Gallego. Regardless, the Cruciero. As we've walked through Galicia these past few days, you've probably seen a lot of these stone crosses in the background, if not in the foreground, due to me pointing them out every chance I get. These are called Crucieros, stone crosses that have been part of the Camino landscape for centuries. They began appearing as early as the 14th century and became especially common between the 16th and 18th centuries. Made of local granite, many show Christ on one side and the Virgin Mary on the other, a reminder of both faith and protection for those on the road. Crucieros were not just religious symbols. In old times, they were thought to protect travelers from misfortune or unseen danger at the crossroads. Pilgrims would pause here, perhaps say a prayer, leave a small stone, or reflect on their journey. Today they still stand as stone sentinels in the Camino, blending history, belief, and landscape. When you encounter one next, take a moment, not just to notice it, but to feel the centuries of footsteps that passed by before you. Okay, we got that out of the way. Moving on! As I moved through Sotomayor, I kept crossing water, with the morning sun settled on my shoulder like a wingman. Sotomayor sits where the Verdugo River meets the upper edge of the Ria de Vigo, and the landscape makes that clear. All morning, streams have cut across the path, while bridges appear out of the mist or lazy morning shadows, and the air stays cool and crisp. Above it all rises Castello de Sotomayor, first built in the 12th century and later expanded in the 15th century by none other than
Pedro Madruga,
a power-hungry feudal lord and possible pirate. Fun fact: Pedro Madruga vanished from the historical record in the late 1400s, while Christopher Columbus appeared soon after, fully fluent in Iberian politics and navigation. Some Galician historians have wondered if they were in fact the same man. Most experts say no, but Galicia enjoys the mystery anyway, and so do I. I highly recommend checking out Castello de Sotomayor. Admission is €5 and $2.50 for pilgrims. Now it's time to get back on the road, right?
See.
After a beat, the countryside opens up. Old stone walls run alongside the trail, stacked with deliberate patience. Grapevines stretch across gentle slopes, with vineyards stitched into the hills that have enhanced the view for centuries. Umbrella trees cast wide overhead, as creeping ivy draped itself in thick festoons, slowly reclaiming anything that stood still too long. I better keep moving. A slogan competing with 800 years of vegetable order. I pause, and I oblige. The sun shifts, no longer perched on my shoulder, but scattered through the canopy above, fracturing fractals of light that splinter across the trail. Then the soft dirt path gives way to smooth boulders of considerable size, rounded and worn by time. Each step feels even more intentional. Then up ahead, something glints in a field, waking me from the ever-reverie.
That's the way to do it. Get the birds drunk on wine. Not even the good stuff.
Water now behind me, vineyards beside me. I'm almost there. Soon I found myself being led into town by a woman holding a scythe. We made it. You feel it the moment you step into Pontevedra. The city is built for feet, not cars. Wide streets, a calm, historic center. After long Camino days, your body notices the difference fast. Having arrived too early to check into my hostel and still having time before Eric and Ricky got to town, there was one place I really wanted to check out. In fact, I felt drawn to it. This would be the Iglesia de Virgen Peregrina, and for pilgrims, it's a must-see. Built in the late 1700s, the church is dedicated to the Virgin of the Pilgrims, the protector of those walking to Santiago. Its shape is no coincidence. The floor plan is actually designed in the shape of a scallop shell, the most recognizable symbol on the Camino. Inside, the Virgin is shown dressed as a pilgrim herself, complete with cloak, staff, and shell. That detail really matters. She's not watching from above, she's walking with us. For centuries, pilgrims have stopped to give thanks, ask for protection, or simply pause and take it all in. It sits right in the heart of Pontevedra, woven into daily life, and like the Virgin Pilgrim again, not set apart from it. This church is small, but it carries a lot of meaning. If the Camino had a heartbeat in Pontevedra, this might very well be it. Oh, and a fun fact. Inside you'll find a scallop-shaped holy water font, a subtle nod to those of us with eyes to see. The shell symbolizes pilgrimage, protection, and safe passage. Even inside the church, the journey's not over. It's just heightened. Oh, and speaking of heightened, I need to find the Caminotellers. On second thought, I should check into my albergue first. If you follow my channel, you know I have a soft spot for pod-style bunks with privacy curtains. And that is exactly what I found in Pontevedra today, at Blizen Urban Hostel, which can be found on booking.com. They also take bedbug prevention pretty seriously, with clear systems in place, which instantly put my mind at ease. The rooms were extremely clean, the bathrooms were spotless, spacious, and had enough hot water to serve a small marching band. There's a kitchen you can use, a refrigerator, lockers, snack machines. There's also a great little backyard too, perfect for drying clothes, catching some sun, maybe some light yoga, sneaking in a nap, or just sitting still with your feet up and no agenda. In short, it checked off every box. After a shower and a fresh change of clothes, it was time to meet Erica and Ricky at the mysterious Basilica de Santa Maria la Mayor and start exploring. Truth be told, I actually met up with the Caminotellers earlier, right when they arrived in town for a bite at Pumper, an excellent plant-based cafe. That's another thing about Pontevedra. The food options, they're endless. You can pretty much eat however you want here, and well. Even those drunken birds seem to thrive. And now it's time to check out the Basilica de Santa Maria la Mayor, arguably the most important church in Pontevedra. Built in the 1500s during Pontevedra's golden age as a powerful port town. However, the money did not come from kings. It came from sailors, shipbuilders, fishing guilds, even fishmongers. This was a church funded by the sea. It stands on the site of an earlier Romanesque church, meaning people have been worshipping on this exact ground for centuries before the current building even existed. The facade is unforgettable, carved like a massive stone altarpiece packed with saints, apostles, and maritime symbols. Look closely and you'll spot anchors, ropes, and nautical details worked right into the stone. Inside, however, everything slows down. Thick walls, high vaults, and saintly silence. This is the kind of place where pilgrims, sailors, and townspeople stopped not to admire, but to recharge. I gleefully explored it with Erica and Ricky, and we even paid €1 to climb the tower to get a closer look at the bells of the basilica. Up there, the scale shifts. The bells, huge, worn, serious. These are the same bells that have marked time for centuries, but be forewarned, they're still active and ring every 15 minutes. Ah, the basilica. It's not just another stamp in your credencial, but a checkpoint in history, and truly a wonder to explore. After the basilica, we took a short walk by the river. Checked out the bridge, checked out the fish, checked out everyday life here in Pontevedra. And soon, it was getting later in the day and we had to head back to our albergues before the doors were locked. But on the way, we ran into a rather peculiar performance. It was those damn birds again. Thanks for watching today, and please like and subscribe. Join us in our next video as we head to our most magical donativo in Apatella. Until then.
Oh, shelter, walk beside me. Oh, shelter, down the old stone way. Side by side through starry nights and laughter. We'll sing, we'll laugh, we'll la 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 all day. Oh, shelter, la 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 all day.